Happy Friday, everybody. What's good? What's up, y'all? What's up? Happy Friday. Beautiful day. I hope everyone is doing all right. And getting ready for a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this up. Bam. But like I said, thank you guys for coming out. It is another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and everything else that any other topic that we talk about as accurate as possible. And as always, I am your host, Jayson Estrera. And for today, we only had one playoff game last night where we saw the Denver Nuggets get body slammed by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Caitlin Clark starts off her WNBA career 0-2. But what does this mean moving forward? And in other news, we can start with this one. This is more of a fun one. We can start over here, man.
Hey, I hope y'all keep that same energy when I knock this old man the fuck out.
I don't know if he's in his prime. He's fat. He should be lean and mean. He's fat and funky.
He should be lean and mean, but he's fat and funky. So we had the press conference for this Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Obviously no one thinks that this is a real fight, even though they keep saying it. They kept telling each other that they loved each other. Mike Tyson is the one that gave him a start, as Jake Paul gives him credit. So I don't know what to expect. I am excited to watch it because I'm always up to see some crazy shit on TV, and how can you not watch Mike Tyson fight? Excuse me. But yeah, so that's coming up in a couple weeks actually. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Can't wait to see that. See, and here's the other part. He was also seen insulting. He was cussing out the Dallas crowd and called them hillbillies after he got booed. And this guy, he said, "Hey Dallas, shut the fuck up. Y'all keep booing. I'm going to keep doing. That's how y'all want to do. I told y'all the ultimate fucking hillbillies. Go milk a cow." Yo, what's wrong with this dude? He's obviously trying to sell the fight. Hey, kudos to him. He does look a little big in his photos. He don't look like he normally does for these fights, but hey man, it's entertainment at the end of the day, right? What you gonna do? It is entertainment. So let's move on to some more interesting sports. Cause what the hell happened to the Indiana Fever last night? Now, I've already said, Caitlin Clark has brought me over here to start watching the WNBA, and they got smacked around. I didn't watch the whole game, but my goodness. Let me see, where's the shit?
All fans and all eyes on number 22, the rookie guard out of Iowa. Here is the MVP, Brianna Stewart for Indiana.
Caitlin coming off that 20-point performance right here, handling the physicality.
Struggled to free her up at times. New York's had some wide open perimeter. Boston going to have quite the assignment trying to chase Jones around the perimeter as Stewart turns and hits.
For New York, is not good for Indiana's defense. New York is too efficient. See right there, that one.
Dojkic has checked in for her first minutes with the Liberty. Here's Ionescu right to the rim. Temi Fagbenle checking in here, turns the corner on Stewart, and how's that for a home ovation?
Wow.
Strong side, Katie Lou Samuelson open on the backside.
Here's Stewart on a step back and answers with a triple.
Bruh.
2 for 1.
Clark, bounce pass. There's
What a
Boston.
pass.
16 second chance points here tonight.
Look at that step back.
Stewart fading, firing. Davis hounding Clark.
Oof, give me that.
Clark, step back three, knocks it down. No look.
What a pass.
Fouled and one. Into triple digits as they dominate the fourth quarter.
Goddamn. So the New York Liberty go on to defeat the Indiana Fever 102-66. And we'll get to Caitlin Clark in a second, but Breanna Stewart, who was she the... Yeah, she was she was the regular season MVP of last year's season for the WNBA. And she's starting this year off with 31 points, 4 assists, and 10 rebounds. She was cooking. Sabrina Ionescu, I hope I said that right, ended the game with 14 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds. Went only 6 of 14 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. And for the Fever, Caitlin Clark played 30 minutes, went 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 9 points. And she also had 5 personal fouls. They got smacked around. There's nothing. They got smacked the fuck around. And like I said, after her first game, it's gonna happen. I've already seen a couple things online about people ripping her coach. Get rid of the coach, get rid of the coach, get rid of the coach. And I'm not gonna pretend like I know how good their coach is or isn't, but I will say this. On the New York Liberty, they have Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. The WNBA currently is still very dominated by big men, kind of like the early years of the NBA. And I mean, dominant is still dominant. Big men are still dominant today in the NBA. Obviously, we have Jokic and Embiid, but the other positions have kind of caught up, right? If Caitlin Clark gets paired with a great big, then Sabrina is, I guess, kind of her comp. It's kind of like her comparison, right? The things that she could do: shoot the ball, move around, be a point guard, but isn't really the focal point, right? I mean, you can't help it when you have a player like Breanna Stewart who could do all the things that she does. However, kind of like in the NBA, kind of like the early NBA, they put a cap on what guards could do. And it wasn't until the last 10, 15 years when we really started seeing this evolution of the point guard. So it makes me wonder, are they gonna pigeonhole Caitlin Clark? Are they gonna try to mold her into a point guard that we've already seen in the WNBA? Or are we gonna try to let her be herself and maximize what she does? I get it that she shot 8 shots and 7 of them were threes. One, that's too many, but I understand that she's taking a bunch of threes, right? But you also got to realize the physicality is different. The speed is different. It might take her, it's easier for her to get threes off at the moment than it is to drive and get to the bucket and get layups. She has to learn that. But the other part of it too is she going to have a coach in a team that's going to feature her and run their offense around her like they did in college? This is a pivotal point in her career, right? Because the reality in the WNBA is you just have less time. She's going into the league at 22 already. They all are damn near, because of the rule that they have. So they have to figure it out quicker. They have to make a decision sooner rather than later. She can either develop her skills and try to be one of these players that we've already seen before, or are they going to push her to be something different? The turnovers, the mistakes are going to come. However, sort of like how they did with Steph Curry and a lot of these point guards that we have now in the NBA, where they started molding offenses and teams around them, are they going to do the same thing for her? It's great that her light is so bright that it's shining it on other great WNBA players. However, will they allow her to maximize her potential? And that's something that we got to wait and see. I'm not saying that they need to fire the coach, but you know, sometimes people could be in the middle of change and evolution and not know that it's happening, and they end up falling behind. And I hope that that's not what happens to their situation, because with all the eyes that she's brought into the WNBA, they kind of have to figure it out. Not that she needs to win a championship right away, but they need to try to figure out what makes her successful and continue that. And I think it starts with seeing some of the things that worked for her in college and how they ran that team and that offense. Moving on. So last night, let's see. So last night we saw the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves face off in Game 6. Excuse me. And it wasn't close. The Timberwolves forced a Game 7. They won 115-70. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards ended up with 27 points. Had himself 3 steals, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. Went 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 8 of 17 from the field, 4 of 9 from the 3-point line. We also got 21 points from Jaden McDaniels, who finally showed up and had himself a little bit of a game. 10 from Karl Anthony Towns, a big 13 from Mike Conley. And everyone shot relatively well from the Timberwolves, right? They ended up going 15 of 40 from 3, 37.5%, 40 of 86 from the field. They also ended the game with 62 rebounds. You want to know how many rebounds the Denver Nuggets ended up with? 43. That's bad. That is really, really bad. And they also ended up with, what is this? 12 turnovers to the Timberwolves 6. That's the game right there. Turnovers and rebounds, you lose that badly, that's the game. Jokic ended up with 22 points. Shot 9 of 19, 0 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Ended up with 9 boards and only 2 assists.
To stay out of foul trouble, so that's an option for us. As Jokic plods.
Disconnected, reconnected. Is we good? I think we're good.
13. Porter, he got it. McDaniels dares to shoot it, and Rodman kicked them all out. It's kind of a triple switch. And now
big steal right there.
Be fun. Towns the fake, the take and the slam. Towns will can't hit. Rebound kept alive. Conley.
I thought this was such a big moment right here. They were starting this run, and a huge part of Game 5 was the fact that they were getting the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hand. And he says it in the press conference later, and I have it over here, but it was important for him to get shots up. And this is just a veteran point guard who understands time and possession. He understands the situation. He's able to calculate all of this in a split second, because he has a wide open 3-point shot here that he could have very easily taken. But thinking ahead, he understands that it's important for him to get his best player some shots. And this, this started it.
To Edwards, corner three is good. Minnesota defense looking more like what it did in games 1 and 2 and throughout the season. Edwards storm.
This was another thing that I was talking a lot about in the last game, was for him to attack his one-on-ones. He kept asking for pick and rolls. All it was doing was bringing the double, when all he really needs to do is rely on his first step, because his first step is so quick, and just beat the guy off the dribble and make a play, not necessarily score, get a foot in the paint and make a play. And he was doing that all game, all through the first 3 quarters.
Games 1 and 2 and throughout the season. Edwards storms in and uses shoot. Murray spinning, has to force it up. How about that?
Wow.
Timberwolves D. Edwards a 3. You bet.
Oof.
A 27-2 marathon for Minnesota. As Colt
27-2.
Towns has to be patient.
Wow.
Able to bank it in.
Big boy move.
You got to get the rebounds like they did earlier on this first quarter.
That first quarter run, we'll talk about that.
Jokic gets fouled and flips it in. Facet of the game.
But you see,
you
I was saying to leave him in ISOs, right, the last game, and I'll talk more about this in a second, but they did a great job of hitting him early, and his shots were always difficult, even though he made this one.
Like they did earlier on this first quarter.
His shots are always difficult.
Jokic gets fouled and flips it in. Facet of the game. Here's Edwards in
What a shot.
Denver, mostly Murray, 1 of 10.
Another crazy shot. Wow.
4 for the Timberwolves. Jokic able to flip it in. Minnesota will have it. Reed can't hit. McDaniels does on the steal. Edwards, what a
wow. Wow.
Now Denver is struggling to get anyone really going outside of Jokic, who hasn't been that aggressive offensively.
Edwards yet to score in the third. Jokic lays it in. We all thought this was going to be a 6 or 7 game series. The journey here doesn't matter. All that matters is from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What were you thinking that you needed to do in this game coming into it?
Me individually, just shoot it every chance I get. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think I shot it enough. I'm looking at it. I shot 17 times.
Yeah,
but
that's the mentality.
I don't care, but yeah, just shoot it every chance I get. Cause last game they
Mamba mentality.
Did you tell the locker room staffer in Denver you were gonna be back?
Hell yeah.
Yep.
They know I was in there. Yeah, I told them. I said I'll see y'all motherfuckers for game 7.
How you not love this dude, man? Like, how you not love how competitive he is? Everything he about. The spirit of basketball is alive and well with Anthony Edwards. And anytime he talks, he backs it up. Right? The story of this game obviously was the rebounds and turnovers. But before the game was really over, so through the first 3 quarters, if we're really looking at the first 3 quarters, the difference in those 3 quarters was the first. The Nuggets ended up losing that first quarter 31-14. But they started off hot. right? If you're watching early in the game, they got out to a quick 9-2 lead, or 11-2 lead, I believe, right? 9-2 lead. And all of a sudden, the Timberwolves answered with a 20-0 run. Murray it seemed like he hurt his right elbow on his shooting arm early on in that game. And it seemed to affect him, for the rest of the game, right? A reporter asked him if it was bothering him, and if Anthony Edwards' defense was bothering him, and he said it was really more the elbow. And to be honest, Jokic and Murray in that first quarter ended up going 3 for 13. 3 for 13 in the first quarter. 1 for 4 from 3. That's just not going to get it done. Excuse me. That's just not going to get it done. You're going to need your guys to produce. And yes, the Minnesota Timberwolves played great defense. They were tenacious. They were on top of Denver. Kind of similar to the first 2 games. The refs also were seemingly allowing a lot more of the physicality to go. However, Denver was also just missing a couple of shots. There was a wide open 3 that I remember Murray missed in the first quarter in the middle of that run. There was 2 floaters that Jokic would typically make, right? And right there, that's 7 points, right? That would have made the game 31-21. Just off those 3 baskets, right? And it totally shifts. It looks totally different from when you only have 14 points. It just does, right? It does something totally different, because the second quarter, right? The second quarter, the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 28-26. So they only won the second quarter by 2 points, right? They were going into the half up 59-40. But again, +7 just from those 3 buckets that I was talking about with the Nuggets, with the Nuggets, would put that game at 59. Hi, Bubs. Yeah, he's in here right now. It would have put the game at 59-47, down only 12. So the difference in this game really was that run in the first quarter. I remember Jamal Murray even missed a wide open layup, and I don't know if it was the elbow, but he airballed the layup. And it just seemed to carry over. And after that, he was trying to make hero play. It's just this snowball effect, right? And when you get down that much that early, and you're always playing catch up, and a team like Minnesota, who through the first half, Minnesota was only shooting 42% from the field and 23.8% from 3. They had 59 points, but they weren't shooting the ball very well. They went 12 of 12 from the free throw line, which is massive. But in terms of just getting straight buckets, they weren't shooting the ball very well. It was really Anthony Edwards, if you really want to talk about it, right? It was really Anthony Edwards just out there causing havoc. He went 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line, 19 points through the first half. Like I said, Minnesota played great defense. I thought that Jokic was catching the ball in spots where he wouldn't be successful, right? He wasn't catching the ball in the wing like he was in last game, so that no one can double team him. They were putting him back in the low block like he was in the first 2 games. Free throw line where a double, like, and it seemed like Minnesota basically said, we're just gonna double you hard. Damn whoever else is gonna score. And they were just missing some shots. KCP, I felt like, missed a couple shots that could have went in, and it's just a snowball effect. Hey, I was wrong on my pick last night, but I couldn't be happier because, as y'all know, I picked the Minnesota Timberwolves to go against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. And up until last night's game, I looked like I was wrong on both of those. And it looked like it was going to be a Luka Doncic versus Nikola Jokic Western Conference Finals, which I know a lot of people are looking for. But Minnesota responded. They hit timely buckets when they needed to. And they were aggressive. They made the swap like I said that they should. Cat was defending Jokic for most of the night. Even though he gets fouls, I think he just moves his feet better than Gobert does. And then when Jokic did get into the paint, Gobert was always the second guy up to disrupt the shot. I think mentally that does something to Jokic, who's a very smart player, right? Knowing that, yeah, maybe he could get off a shot on Karl Anthony Towns, but now having to adjust your shot a little bit because now Gobert is coming over the top to try to contest it. Got to put a little extra arc on your shot. Got to switch it up a little bit. Sometimes that's all you need. When before he had Gobert on him, Gobert's contest wasn't as impactful. Because the way Jokic plays, he can bump him. In a one-on-one scenario, he's able to neutralize that a little bit. And he didn't have a second line of defense that was always going to jump and try to block them. And so Minnesota was able to have success. The other part of this is honestly the scariest shit. Where is this? At the end of the game in the fourth quarter, where the Nuggets lost the fourth quarter, I think like 29-9 or something like that. It was bad. Yeah, 29-9. I mean, everyone had already pretty much gone out of the game. And Jokic was seen just standing there the whole fourth quarter. He was just standing there. He didn't sit down. He just stood there the whole time, ready for Game 7. Game 7 is tough. And when it comes to experience, that's a place where Minnesota might actually be at a real disadvantage coming Game 7, because in some of these big games, we've seen their players almost shy away from the moment. Not shy away, but they just haven't showed up in a big way. They had their great game. Can they follow it up? For me, I can kind of excuse Towns' poor shooting. He only had 10 points because he was tasked with guarding Jokic, and he ended up with a big 13 rebounds and also had 5 assists. Was really getting some of the offense going from the post. But he still hasn't really scored to his potential this series. And I think he'll need to hit some big buckets in Game 7 if they want to have a chance of winning this. It's going to be really, really tough. I get that the Jokic was standing there and he's not one to do stuff for show. He's never been one to show a lot of emotion, even though when you watch him, you can tell that he cares about this stuff. I get the narrative is very funny. This is his side job. You don't really want to be here. The truth is, you don't get that good by not caring. Maybe he's nonchalant about the game because, you know, I've also heard that being comfortable allows you to play very free, not pressing. Like, these things are positive, and that's how he plays. He plays very free. He plays very... He's not bound down by some of this shit that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll try stuff out there. But he definitely cares, and he clearly does not like to lose, especially the way that they lost that last game. I mean, like I said, he didn't have a great game. 22-2-9. It wasn't a typical Jokic performance, obviously. And the scary thing about him is his bounce backs are bounce backs. And the rest of those guys are proven. Right? Aaron Gordon has proven on multiple occasions. Michael Porter has proven to be a real solid role player. KCP has done it on multiple teams now. And not to mention his running mate, Jamal Murray. And we've seen how big these couple days off are for players who are nursing some kind of injury. They're massive. So when it comes to a Game 7 at home, I give the Denver Nuggets the edge. Unfortunately. As much as I want to say Minnesota, because like I said, I got them winning. I got them going to the Western Conference Finals. Originally. But it's hard to deny the defending world champs. It's hard. It's hard. And I see them doing similar stuff to what they were doing in game 5, in game 3 to 5, basically. They need to do some of those things again. Like I said, outside of them really getting the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hand, I expect him to come out and perform. And Mike Conley was massive for them. Just being that veteran, being that guy to really manage the game and just know what to do. He was incredible for them. And so I have the Denver Nuggets winning in Game 7 for them. That's my pick for Game 7. Hi, Bubs. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. So yeah, like I said, I have Denver winning in Game 7, which now we look ahead to this New York Knicks Indiana Pacers series. I got the Knicks winning tonight, man. I got the Knicks winning Game 6. We close this out. We're not going Game 7. Brunson has had a couple days off. The rest of those guys have had a couple days off. Get some rest. Get some recovery. I'm expecting tonight to be a really good game. Because I'm expecting a similar Indiana Pacers team that we saw when they were home. I expect Halliburton to come out aggressive. I expect him to try to get shots up early because I know someone was definitely in his ear. You would have to be. But still, I expect the New York Knicks to be able to handle every punch that they throw and throw right back. And my New York Knicks are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games to face off against the Boston Celtics. Cause here's the thing about Indiana too. They are also inexperienced. You have, Siakam, who's been there. But ever since those early games in Milwaukee, he hasn't taken over 15 shots. When he's the only guy on the team that can put pressure on the rim. And now you're just banking on the rest of those guys to hit shots. They've been up and down, but right now this is a do or die game, and I'll be honest with you, I just don't have faith in those guys knocking down a bunch of shots. I expect Halliburton to be aggressive. I don't know if he's going to shoot well. I do expect him to be aggressive, and I think Siakam could have a strong game, but our guys got this. I don't see those guys making an adjustment that'll be able to really stop, 1, Jalen Brunson, and 2, Josh Hart, and especially last game, Hartenstein, from getting offensive rebounds. I expect the New York Knicks to close this out tonight. I expect Brunson to have another great game. He not going back home. He going back home to rest, not to play another game. This shit is over tonight. And we gonna face the Boston Celtics. And hey, anything is possible, baby. We gonna face off against the Boston Celtics. I got the Knicks winning tonight. Bam. Do I want to make my picks for the weekend? Where are they playing in that Dallas game? Yeah, they're gonna be in Dallas, game 6. A lot of people have Dallas winning that. I know it. I do think that series goes 7 games, though. I said it before. I think that series goes 7 games, so by that means that Oklahoma City pulls out a victory in Dallas on Saturday night. Let's see, when is their next game? All right, so I guess we're just gonna have to go through this shit. So Knicks win tonight. I think Oklahoma City wins tomorrow. Shea has a masterful game. I think he's been great. We're gonna see some shit tomorrow. Trust me. I think he's gonna come out super aggressive. If I were Shea tomorrow, the object of the game is going to be get Luka to switch on me, and I'm going to try to draw some fouls on him early, and we're going to check him the fuck out of this home game. And just like that comeback victory that they had when Dallas was up, they're going to consistently double Kyrie Irving to keep him from getting going at all. And Luka, they can trust Lou Dort to defend him and just make his life difficult. Like I said already, he's been getting points, he's been scoring, but last game 15 of his 31 came from straight threes, and a bunch of them were long. 3 or 4 of those 5 threes were deep threes and step backs. He misses a couple of those early. He doesn't get going. He starts getting frustrated, complains to the referees, especially home. Yeah, I could see OKC getting that one early. Right? If Luka doesn't get some of those calls on offense and on defense, right? If Shea is really attacking him, if they're gonna play whoever Luka is playing offense and attack him, yeah, I can see him getting checked out of that game pretty early. I know the referees aren't gonna want to blow that whistle, but they're gonna make it. They should make it really difficult and force their hand in a home game. And now you're forcing these other guys to overextend trying to perform in a home game. And keep doubling Kyrie. And I think OKC could pull out game 6 and push it to a game 7. Now Sunday, I might switch it. But at this point in time, I mean, I could switch it because I'm going to go live later for the next game. But at this point in time, I have the Denver Nuggets moving on to the Western Conference Finals, just with what we've seen in this series. I can count on their performance. And hey, I could be wrong, but Knicks win tonight. OKC wins tomorrow night, Saturday, and then Denver wins Sunday night. And as always, it's been your host. It's your boy, Jayson Estrera. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me, watching the show. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later for the Knicks game because we got a game to win tonight. But thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all later. Peace.